Hello and welcome to the Avatar Sethi show. And we are continuing with the IELTS series, which is IELTS without tears. So, we talked about the letter writing in the last episode. We'll now take up the task one in academics. And what is task one? We'll talk about. With me is Neha once again. And then, what are the things that you have to take care of when taking up this task one? So, Neha, what is this task one in academics?
So, as we have talked about task one of general training in our previous videos, now if I come to the task one of the academic, as I have
Yes,
told you that academic means that you have to give the exam move to study, right? So, yes, this is bit tricky than your general exam. This is the fact. And now, if I talk about report writing, most of the students really find it very difficult to write and they really struggle with the ideas.
but we'll
But
make it simple for them.
yes, exactly. So if you have, but it is actually very simple because if we talk about, you are just have to represent what you are seeing in your infographics. They are giving you the information,
Yeah.
and now you have to represent that information in your own words. Right.
Correct.
So the first thing, what is report writing? Report writing means an infographic is given to you. If I say infographic, I mean a bar chart, a pie chart, a line graph. It can be a process, it can be a diagram, it can be a flow chart.
Yeah. So
Hmm.
you see the graph and then you explain what it is about.
Hmm.
So for that, you have to understand what is the graph and how to, reproduce.
Yes, exactly. So, first is understanding that infographic. But this is also, as we have already talked about, that writing here means very structured. You should know the right format to present your idea. So in IELTS report writing, after knowing that what is report, so bar graph and all infographics, like whatever infographic is presented to you, first understand that. Now I'm going to tell you what is the structure of report writing.
Yes.
If I talk about the structure, the very first thing is your introduction. You need to tell it to the examiner, like how to, how to introduce your graph. So sometimes what the students do, they copy the same line which is given that the given bar chart is representing. But here, what is IELTS is all about is paraphrasing. You
Hmm.
first need not copy the same words from the question, because here you want to show the examiner your skills, that you are very good enough to write in your own language rather than you are just copying what is given in your question.
Here, I would like to tell you, if you have not understood what is graphics and what are the infographics, I'll tell you, you might have seen some certain charts and certain graphs in the newspaper where we are showing the population increase from, let's say, from 1960 to 2022, and it is presented in the form of a graph. And you have to explain that in words. The questions will be given and those questions will have to be answered from the graphics, isn't it?
Yes, exactly. If I talk about a bar graph, so you might have seen in your mathematics books in your school time, when x-axis and y-axis, a pie chart in which the sectors which are covering certain parameters. It can be on that we are going to teach them in our next video. Ki what is this actually bar graphs are,
And in
right?
fact, in the pie diagram,
Hmm.
it is the percentage which is given.
Yes,
So on the basis of that, you have to answer the questions.
yes, the percentages. And then in the process, it is a process that is being given, like a tea making process, first step, second step, third step. So the very first step is introduction. Introduce your bar graph to the, or introduce your infograph, whatever is given, to the examiner. Ki what is there in it. So for that, read your graph very carefully. What is on the x-axis? What is on the, if it is a bar graph, what is on the y-axis? What are the parameters they are talking about? What are the, what are the things, what are this rubrics about it, and what is the data is all about. So understand it very carefully. Is it about the name of a country, year, time period? So this is what you need to represent in your introduction.
And I would advise you, you can find these graphs in the newspapers and in some books also. So keep looking into those books and the newspapers and try to understand what exactly is the graph about, what to write and what to understand. from those graphs and how to explain that.
Yes. And the second step here is an overview. Now, most of the students don't know, they are confused. What is overview? Overview means that what is the key feature that is highlighting in a graph.
Bilkul,
Right? It's
correct.
like a bird view, like if you are flying in a sky, and what is the first thing that is attracting you is the highest thing from there when you see, and the lowest thing that you see. So that is an overview. Overview means what is the significant feature of the graph that they are representing you. So what is the whole, what is the crux that we say is all about. That is an overview. So that's helps the examiner to understand that the student has actually understand the graph. He
Yes.
has properly analyzed, it's based on your analytical skills, like how you are taking it and how much you are absorbing it from that.
Yeah. Don't worry, you can always do that even if you are not a
Hmm.
mathematics student.
Yes, obviously, it's not about mathematics. It's just
Yes.
see the highest and the lowest. Like, what is the very significant feature that you notice in a graph? So, that is an overview. After writing an overview, there comes the body paras. Now, it's the chance of you to represent your figures into your words, whatever you are seeing with
Very
the.
simple.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is very simple. That we are going to teach you in our next video, in which we will be telling you how to actually do it in a practical way. Now, if I talk about the how do you get your band, that is a very
That's very
important.
important. In
Yes,
fact, we're working for that only.
exactly.
So we have to score a good band.
Exactly. So, here also there are 4 parameters. The first is your task achievement. Now, what I mean by task achievement, that you have covered. See, in an graph, we do not have to, whatever we are seeing, we cannot write everything, because again, the word limit that we have already, I think we missed this thing, that it is also 150 to 180 words.
So you have to keep track of it.
Mm.
It should not be less than 150 words and should be little more than 150 words if it is possible.
Mm.
But it should not go overboard also.
Yes,
So
not
you
more
have,
than 180.
yes,
And you should very carefully divide your word limits, because you are covering your introduction. That shouldn't be more than 30 to 40 words. Then you have to write an overview that should be very prescribed, short, clear, and very crisp. And then your body paras, that should be equally representation of your graph. So understanding the graph is really something very the students struggle. So understand, take your time in understanding, because if you understand, then only you will get a good band in your task achievement.
and keep practicing for that at home.
Yes.
And when you, in the next episode, when we take you to the class, you will understand the all the aspects of it.
So there is a band descriptor that is British Council has issued for the public versions. The public versions of the blank descriptors, you can see what is your band score that you are looking for. And if you are looking for band 8, so what are the requirements that you need to give it into it? If you are looking for band 7, so what you should present, your introduction, your overview, your body para, that if you are covering all the parts of the task and you are presenting your data very coherently. The second is cohesion and coherence.
These two words you remember. Everywhere you
Hmm.
have to be coherent and you have to be cohesive. We'll talk about it in the different parts of our teaching in different modules. But don't forget these two words. They are very, very important words.
Yes, so cohesions, your ideas, you are presenting the highest data and the lowest. So you are comparing. So there are certain words like in contrast to, and you are adding. So moreover, if we see in addition to that, so this proper use of the vocabulary at right place, there should not be overuse. Some students just learn and put it everywhere. So you
Yeah.
have to be use it very wisely after knowing what is that where it is required. So it's all come by the rigorous practice. And the third thing is that grammar range and accuracy. See, grammar range is something that is very important. We just confuse. We think that it is only about grammar. Range means that your report has a variety of sentences. For band 7 and above, complex structures, compound structures. You should have a good knowledge of how to make a complex structure rather than making a simple sentences. You should know what is a compound sentence. How do we make a compound sentence? So just have some of the good threshing lessons on your grammar portions, generally about the sentence type, how to make it. Start practicing on the sentence type. Rather than making a very simple sentences, you can add like the how to make a compound sentence. The students don't know
And you have to know about the connectors also, you know.
connectors, so you should have that knowledge, right? And you are
Yeah.
writing it very properly, presenting in this.
So I hope you
Hmm.
have understood
Hmm.
that the sentences should be complex sentences, compound sentences, and then you have to know where are the what connectors are to put and where have to you have to put. Generally, don't put a connector right at the start of a sentence.
Yeah, that exactly. When we are connecting, so you should
Yeah,
use it in between,
in
because
between.
connector and the function is to connect two sentences. So with that, you need to have a good grammar and the proper knowledge of grammar range and accuracy. And the fourth is vocabulary. Now
Hmm.
the students say, "Ki, ma'am, we see the graph, so what vocabulary we can use? We can, how can we add? We cannot add very fancy words into it. You don't have to. You just have to add good adjectives and adverbs. Like for example, you are talking about figure that is rising, so if you can write the significantly, it is increasing. So significantly, that is showing your vocabulary, that you are able to add the adjectives and adverb properly into this your report.
So this
Hmm.
significantly word also you should remember. This
Hmm.
will definitely come in that when you compare two things, and significantly word
Yes,
will
so a
be
lot of
required.
words are there, which is
Yeah.
a specific vocabulary. Actually, report writing is about a specific vocabulary.
So Neha, I
Hmm.
would like you also to tell them
Hmm.
that how to improve the vocabulary and how to use the synonyms. Say a few words on that.
Yeah, definitely. See, vocabulary is something that you is a very, a main part of any language. Vocabulary means words. If you don't have a words, you are very short of you are not able to express yourself. So for that, always, when you are planning to give your IELTS exam, 1 month or at least 2 months before, start making your vocabulary journals. For that, to pick one word, on these days we have a lot of online dictionaries that are giving the synonyms and antonyms of the words, right? So instead of just reading a word randomly, try to know about that, what is a part of which part of speech it is, like it's a verb, it's an adjective. What are the synonyms? At least 2 to 3. If you are learning 10 words every day, and at last you remember, if you add up your words, your vocabulary will automatically enrich by this.
Hmm.
So we have to put in some efforts for this.
And
Hmm.
remember when you are looking for the meaning of a word to improve your vocabulary, always look into the pronunciation also, because that is going to help you in another module, which is the speaking module. So you
Exactly.
have to look at a word, see its meaning, and look at the pronunciation
And
also.
add the synonym and learn the synonyms and antonyms. It
Yes.
is the best way to increase your vocabulary.
Mm.
And try to use that word very frequently. If the word you are, okay, maybe you are learning, but you are not using, it's like a word forgotten. So keep on using that words, make sentences with that word. So that will automatically absorb into your mind, and you just disseminate into you. And then you will not face a problem of lacking in vocabulary.
So that means when
Hmm.
you look into, when you Google a word,
Hmm.
so look into the meaning, look up about the pronunciation, and then how to use it in a sentence also.
Exactly. Make a sentence with it. Try to use it, make it, and try to look at the words every time you write something. So that will automatically absorb into you. And after using it for 3 to 4 times, you don't have to learn it. It will automatically set into your mind.
Right.
Hmm.
So other aspects of it now.
So now this is all about the parameters on which you get. So you can, according to your band descriptor, that which you actually want, that I want band 8, band 7. So what I need to give. So we are adding a band descriptor chart as well. You can see that, you can download that chart and keep it with you while you are writing. So now in the next class, we will be teaching you how to write a good report writing.
So, friends, you know now if you have to write a report, then what do you have to do? So, that is all in this episode. But if you have not subscribed our channel, please do it now immediately. The Avatar Sethi Show. Please press the bell icon, like and share with your friends.